Alright guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're here to talk about my top 20 underrated and forgotten games for the MetaQuest 2, 3, and 3S. A lot of you guys have gotten new headsets, but a lot of people are always just talking about the games that have come out in the last 6 months or so, because that's just how we all work. But there's still a lot of great games that came out 3, 2, 1 year ago, whatever the case may be. And some games even came out a couple of months ago, but no one really talks about them and they were kind of forgotten and underrated. So we're going to be talking about all of these games. And if you guys like anything that you see and you guys want to support me and the channel, make sure to check out the description below and you will see links for everything. Let's get into the video.
Eating brekkie is the gaming tech. Going for a brekkie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie is the gaming tech. Gaming techie.
The first one here coming in at number 20 is Loco Dojo Unleashed. I don't know how many of you guys remember this game. It has been a long time since it came out, but it is basically 16 mini games that you play in a Mario Party board game type fashion, where there's a board in front of you and you're playing all these different mini games, going around the boards and stuff like that, and trying to be the winner overall. Like I said, it feels very much like a Mario Party game, and it has 16 different mini games that all take advantage of what VR can offer, and they're all unique in their own ways. I remember having a blast with this one when it came out. I think they also had a regular version before the Quest even came out. I think there was a one on the Oculus Rift back in the day that I used to play as well. So this is a really fun party game to play with your friends. If you just got a Quest or you have multiple headsets in the house and you like that Mario Party type feel, this is a really good one, and the mini games are all unique and very fun to play. That is Loco Dojo Unleashed, coming in at number 20. The next one here coming in at number 19 is Carve Snowboarding. I don't know how many of you guys remember this game, but this game is really good, and there's nothing else on the store like it, even though this game came out, I believe it's been like 3 years at this point. But this is from the creator of the people who made 1080 snowboarding back in the day. And for all of the people out there who love snowboarding and going on the mountain and doing your best time, your tricks and stuff like that, this is that game. And it has a really cool environment, like cabin that you're in. You unlock different boards and gloves, different mixtapes. It has a very Tony Hawk type feel. It is really fun. And again, I don't think there's any other snowboarding game on the Oculus Quest even till this day since this came out. But this one is still really good. It's super fun if you're into games like this. I think they did a fantastic job. I don't know how well it did for them, but I'm kind of surprised we don't have a sequel. Carve Snowboarding at number 19. The next one here, coming in at number 18, is Sports Scramble. I remember when this game came out. This is a sports compilation that just gives you a bunch of wacky things that you do and play together. For example, you can play tennis with a golf club. You can bowl a strike with a basketball. You can smash a home run with a hockey stick. All these wacky things that you're doing in the game, playing bowling with all these different wacky balls that they get thrown at you, the lane changes on you all the time, and just playing tennis with all these different things. It's a really cool and unique game. Sports Scramble at number 18. The next one here, coming in at number 17, is Robo Recall Unplugged. I don't know if you guys remember back in the day on the Oculus Rift when Robo Recall came out, and we were kind of blown away, and that game still blows me away, even playing it today on PC, because of the fantastic looking game that it was when it came out, and VR was just getting started back then. Well, they actually released a sequel of sorts, or maybe not a sequel, more like an enhancement of that game for the Oculus Quest when it came out, and that is this version here, and it is just as fun as the original. Of course, the graphics aren't as good as PC, but they really did do a really good job, and it really has that arcadey shooting type game where you're trying to get the highest score, killing these robots and stuff like that. It is super fun till this day. I still go back and play this every once in a while. A lot of unique, things that they did in this game when it first came out, and it's still super fun. I love like the way that when you hit headshots and shoot guys, like the orange pop-ups, like arcadey feel, and the way that the guns, you can grab the bullets in the air and throw back at the enemies. All that cool stuff that really makes a great arcade shooter. Nothing else really like this in VR. Robo Recall Unplugged, coming in at number 17. The next one here, coming in at number 16, is Hyper Dash. This game is one of those games that's very similar to things like Quake and Unreal Tournament. It has that fast-paced nature. It's a free-to-play FPS game. It has all the modes that you would expect: payload, domination, control point, deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, elimination, ball, all of these things. And they have a bunch of mutators and stuff that you can play with these games. But what really sets this game apart that I really like is the movement system in the game, where you're dashing around, you hit the A button and you dash from place to place. It really makes it not only just a fast-paced nature game like some of the other games that are to this day, but this game sets itself apart because of the fact that you're dashing around and between players and behind them and all this kinds of stuff, playing all these different modes. I love fast-paced first-person shooters like this, and it really does give me those vibes of Unreal Tournament and stuff like that in VR. Even though it's been out for a really long time, I still love it. Hyper Dash coming in at number 16. The next one on this list coming in at number 15 is the Pixel Ripped series. Now, I chose the 1995 version just because I love the 90s and I was born in the 90s and stuff like that. But this is a series of games. They made one for the 80s and the 70s, I believe, as well, where you're going through and you're playing like a system in your hand, and you have to watch out for like your mom coming in the room and stuff like that. And you're playing this different game, trying to basically sneak in and play it while, you know, your mom doesn't catch you and stuff like that. But the way that this game tells that story, the way that the nostalgia hits this game, and hits the feels right in you when you were born in the 90s or the 80s or the 70s, depending on which version you're actually playing, where you actually see things in your bedroom that remind you of being in that time, and things happening in the game that are all throwbacks to that era, makes this game super fun. There's nothing else like this in VR. I wish that they kept making more of these, but regardless, we got some really good ones here with 1995 here, 1989, and the 70s version that they made. It is super fun. And I definitely urge you guys, if you have not played the Pixel Rip series and you're a fan of nostalgia back in the day from those eras, definitely one I recommend playing. Super unique and super awesome game. Pixel Rip 1995 coming in at number 15. The next one here coming in at number 14 is Gravity League Galactic Football. So this is a really unique game that basically, think about the game being like Pong, where you have one person on one side and one person on the other, and you have to try and hit the ball behind them, and they have to block it from going behind them. But what makes this game unique is that there's so much content in this game. Not only is there a lot of different arenas that you can play in, there's all these weapons that you can have on your hands that kind of change up the gameplay on how you're hitting the ball back that you can unlock while you play. There's a bunch of different party modes in the game. There's online leagues that you play in and stuff like that. All the wacky footballs and different balls that come at you and stuff like that. It's just super fun. A really unique take on like a sport like Pong version, and it's just really good. And again, there's nothing else really like this one either besides this one with the way that they do things. And this one is really fun. I did a review on this a long time ago when it came out, and I'm still having a blast with this one till this day. It's really fun. If you're a sports fan and a Pong fan and you want to see something new in the genre, this is definitely one to check out. Gravity League Galactic Football coming in at number 14. The next one on this list coming in at number 13 is Mini Motor Racing X. This is such a fantastic game. This is a top-down, well, mostly top-down because you could actually drive in the car as well, but it's mostly a top-down racing game. But it's not just a regular racing game that has a ton of tracks. It also has a huge amount of party modes that you can play in here as well, like Bumper Ball and Drop Zone and Battle Arena, and so much more. Even has like a Rocket League soccer type game in here as well. It has online multiplayer. It has AI play as well. It is super fun. Again, you can play in either top-down mode like this, or with those old school racers, or you can actually be in the car as well. It really is a super fun game. And again, not a lot of games like this on the Quest store, and this one is fully featured. There's so much variety in the tracks, so much variety in the game modes. There's a career mode in here as well to play. Super cool game that I think went underneath the radar when it came out, and has been around for a really long time and is still very unique out there. Mini Motor Racing X coming in at number 13. The next game here coming in at number 12 is Boun Sha. Boun Sha is a game that a lot of us are definitely familiar with, and that is a beer pong clone in a game where you're playing multiplayer online versus either 1v1 or 2v2. It has mixed reality support as well. It's a really great game. The physics of throwing the ball and actually hitting it in there is really good. The fact that you can actually, when you get on fire, like, people do in beer pong, the ball actually catches on fire. You can swat the balls away as people are throwing it and trying to bounce it on you and stuff like that, which is super cool. A few different environments. It's a super fun game, especially for $3.99. Boun Sha coming in at number 12. The next one here, coming in at number 11, is Knock Bow and Arrow Soccer. So how many of you guys know Rocket League, one of the most popular games in a 2D flat game out there that's still played to this day? Well, this is that game in VR, except instead of hitting cars against the ball, you actually use bow and arrows, and you're running around the stage playing, against the other team, and you're trying to use a bow and arrow and try to knock that ball into the opponent's goal. It is super fun, super unique. Knock Bow and Arrow Soccer coming in at number 11. The next one here coming in at number 10 is Party Versus, and this is the newest game on the list. It only came out a couple of months ago, but it kind of came out of nowhere, so I feel like it's going to go under a lot of people's radar because they kind of just dropped this on the store without really talking about it. And I'm surprised because I think it's probably easily in my top 5 mixed reality experiences to this day. It's basically Mario Party mini games that you're playing like Hot Potato and Spike Ball and all this stuff with other players online in multiplayer. But what really sets this game apart is that you actually get to see the other person's room, and it actually feels like they're in the room with you, but there's different rooms around you, and their furniture is actually where it's supposed to be, and they see your furniture where it's supposed to be. While you're playing these mini games, there's like a dozen or so mini games, or maybe a little bit more than that, in the game, and they're all super fun to play, very unique. I hope that they update this game and continue going on, and especially for the price of only $9.99, I think it's well worth the cost, especially for how unique this is. Party Versus at number 10. The next game here coming in at number 9 is Cookout. This is such a great game. I remember when this game first came out, and I got a bunch of friends to actually buy a quest over this game because remember Overcooked? That was all the rage back in the day where you and 3 friends were cooking meals that customers were coming up with, and you have to work together around the kitchen. Well, think about that game and now put that in VR, and that's exactly what we got here. And this is from Resolution Games. You guys know I love Resolution Games, and I'm surprised that this one hasn't gotten a sequel either because they did a fantastic job with this game. You're working with your friends, multiplayer, and cooking different orders for all these people, trying to grab the ingredients that you need, putting it in the middle and making all these things, working together as a team, screaming at each other just like Overcooked was. And man, this game came out a while ago, but it is still amazing and nothing like it. Cookout at number 9. The next game on the list coming in at number 8 is Blaston, another one from Resolution Games, back to back here. And this has now gone free to play. I think it used to cost $10 when I purchased it, but it has gone free to play a while ago. And this is a 1v1 dueling game. It is super, super fun. You have all these different weapons that kind of appear around you, and it's kind of like a bullet hell shooter. I don't know about you, but I've never played a bullet hell shooter 1v1 multiplayer online against another person, and it really is unique as it sounds. And you could actually play tournaments. There's like 8 people in a lobby, and you're seeing each other compete, and then winner stays on, best 2 out of 3. They have all these I think it's 2 or 3 different social hubs that are in the game that you can play again and kind of chill out and do pictures and play little mini arcade games and just hang out. And it's just a really well done game. And I remember playing this nonstop with friends when it came out because it was so unique, and it's still unique. I know I've said this a lot on this list, but there's nothing else like this on this list either for the games that have come out since then. Bullet hell shooter 1v1 multiplayer, fantastic, and the fact that it's free to play, no reason for you guys not to check it out. Blaston coming in at number 8. The next one here coming in at number 7 is Sammy De Amigo. Oh man, this game is so much fun. You guys know I love my music rhythm games, and this is one of those games that does this super well. You guys know that this game came out on the Dreamcast. I own it on the Dreamcast. I was wondering how well this was going to translate into VR, but they did it, and they did it really well. They have a bunch of different tracks in this game. I believe over 40 songs from really popular genres that just fit really well in a game like this, using the maracas to basically play this music rhythm games. The mixed reality mode in this game is also super, super fun. They did have some DLC as well that came out that added like some Sega songs and stuff like that. That was really well done. They have online multiplayer where you can play and be the last one standing, kind of like a battle royale type thing. This game is great. I love that the music is very specific to this game and really feels like it belongs in this game and very different than the other music rhythm games out there. I love the fact that it brings me right into the Sammy De Amigo gameplay from the Dreamcast. This comes in at number 7. The next one on this list, coming in at number 6, is called Last Stand. So this is another mixed reality app. This comes from the creators who made the Zombie Home Invasion mixed reality that was in Dead Cabin. It was such a good game, and you had zombies attacking from your home in mixed reality, and they were coming through your windows and your doors. Well, think about that game, but now that same developer is now creating a game that now is multiplayer. So not only are you fighting your zombies that you have around you coming into your house and stuff like that, but now you actually have a person across from you that you're also trying to kill and be the last one standing. It's super, super cool. It's not a genre I've seen in mixed reality at all. It's super unique and definitely needs more attention, even though it came out a few months ago. It hasn't gotten the popularity that I want to see in this game. You get to upgrade your weapons mid-match and get more ammo and stuff like that while you're fighting your opponent. You can also play cooperatively. You can also play single player against the AI if you want to. So much unique stuff in this game. I hope that they keep updating it because it really, really is good. Last Stand coming in at number 6. The next one on this list, coming in at number 5, is Underdogs. Underdogs is another fantastic game. Again, surprise, from Resolution Games. And this is where you basically get put into a giant mech that you can customize its arms and all its weapons surrounding you. And it's a roguelike game. There's over 130 different weapons in the game. You're going through, smashing all the different enemies, going through this campaign. Very, very unique game that is not like anything you have seen before. And when it came out, I think a lot of people just kind of missed this one. It is still a very unique game, still really fun to play. A lot of different weapons that all do their own things. And who doesn't want to be inside of a mech and actually use its arms and battle all these different enemies in a roguelike fashion, going through the story. I love the graphic art style in this game as well. Super, super underrated game. Underdogs coming in at number 5. The next game here coming in at number 4 is Max Mustard. Max Mustard is a game, for those of you guys who are big fans of Astro Bot on the PlayStation VR, this is pretty much that game on the Oculus Quest platform. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not as good as Astro Bot by any means, but it is a really good action platformer in its own right. And, you know, has a bunch of unique levels that you can play through, a bunch of unique mechanics that happen throughout the game. And it's just a super fun game that a lot of people seem to be missing and not really playing. And that's a shame, because it really is a great action platformer. It's easily in my top 5 action platformers that I've ever played in VR. The only one that comes to mind besides this one and Astrobot is Moss as well. But this one is really, really good. I love the colorful graphics and all the unique levels that this game offers. Max Mustard coming in at number 4. The next one on the list coming in at number 3 is Racket Club. This is one of my favorite sporting games out there. It is really, really fun. It's a combination of racquetball and tennis. I love the social hub that they put into this game, where you have a bunch of different people in their own areas and you can walk up to them, watch them play in real time, talk to them, all that kinds of stuff. You have tournaments that you can play in. The physics are spot on in a game like this. They really did a good job. The graphics are really fantastic in this game. Another game by Resolution Games. They always knock it out of the park, in my opinion, with like most of the games that I always watch them do. And this game is no different. The mixed reality mode, where you can actually put the actual area in your home so you don't have to worry about running into things, is also super well done and super fun. And yeah, it's just a really, really fun game to play multiplayer or single player. There is a single player career as well, but multiplayer, in my opinion, is where it's at. Racket Club coming in at number 3. The next one here coming in at number 2 is Shattered. Shattered is a horror-based game, but it's done in mixed reality. If you want to see what mixed reality can really do and push the envelope on what's possible today, this is that game right here. What they do in mixed reality in this game really is mind-blowing. First of all, you're never going to look at your house the same way again after playing this game. I mean, the stuff that they do in this game, the cool stuff that they kind of do that I've never seen done in another mixed reality game, the puzzles and the horror nature of this game really sets itself apart from a lot of other horror games just because of the way that this game is done. It's a super unique mixed reality game, super unique horror game in and of its own right. Super, super fun. Not to be missed if you're a horror fan. Shattered coming in at number 2. And the number 1 game on this list that we're going to be talking about is Vendetta Forever. This game came out this year, but I think has also flown under the radar by a lot of different people, and this game is also very unique in the genre, super fun. Vendetta Forever is basically a first-person shooter, but you only move when you actually kill someone, and that's the way you move through the levels. You're trying to complete the levels as fast as possible, but what really makes this game unique, and not only the graphics and the way that you move, but is also the levels that you're playing through. It all is kind of reminiscent of like classic action movies, and it's a power fantasy playing this game. It really is super fun. All the levels are unique and they have their own take. They remind you of different movies and stuff like that. There's modifiers in the game to kind of change things up, and you're always trying to beat your time and beat the leaderboards that you're trying to go on. Oh man, it's just a really unique game that I think a lot of people kind of missed, unfortunately. And I love the graphic art style in this game. I love how you move in this game and running around and stuff like that. It's super unique and super fun, especially if you're a fan of action movies and stuff like that. And you're like, oh my god, I remember being like watching this in a scene before. It makes perfect sense. So yeah, this is that game. Super, super great. Vendetta Forever comes in at number 1. Alright guys, I hope you guys enjoyed my list of my top 20 MetaQuest 3 and 3S underrated and forgotten games 2025 edition. So many great games for all you guys who are just getting the quest right now that a lot of people always talk about, but unfortunately a lot of people always talk about the games that only came out in the last few months because that's what's on everyone's mind. But let's not forget all the great games that are on this list as well, things that came out 3 years ago or 2 years ago or a year ago, and some of the latest ones that may have flown under the radar. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the list. If you guys have any questions, as always, leave it down below. If not, thank you guys for watching. Till next time.